Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wizards Outlook. Big game tonight in DC. The Wizards took down the champs. They beat the Bucks 101-94. As you can see, Cardo was in the building for it. We also got Ray here. Wilson, before we get started with the festivities, talking about tonight's game, to go ahead and quick word from our folks over at Ooze and Us. Thanksgiving favorites are back. Fried turkeys will be available for pickup Wednesday, November 24th for $89.95. And side pans are available daily. View the full menu and pre-order today at www.oozeandoz.com/Thanksgiving. And yes, again, it's www.oozeandoz.com/Thanksgiving. All right, Cardell, you were in the building, so first crack at it is yours. Just your thoughts on tonight's win for Washington.
It was Brad Bill's game. You know what I mean? He started strong from the start, withheld it, withstood it throughout the game. I thought the team defense was outstanding. They kept Giannis at bay. I mean, I know his numbers are I know his numbers are crazy at the end of the day, but they didn't let him dominate this game in the paint. Without Chris Middleton, they don't really have anybody that can score in between. So it's just Giannis dominating the paint and them trying to hit a bunch of threes. And after the first quarter, where the first half actually, where the Bucks kind of got going from three, the Wizards shut that down, and they're one of the best defensive teams that shut you down at three. And that was pivotal in this game because it put more pressure on Giannis and other guys to have to step up and score from mid range and in the paint. And with Giannis missing his free throws and with other guys not being able to sustain the consistency, I know Grayson Allen had moments, Drew Holiday had moments, Bobby Portis had moments. They couldn't get enough from the others, and that's where you see where they miss Middleton because that's his game to knock down his points. And without that, they couldn't score enough to keep up with Washington. And honestly, if Washington didn't turn the ball over so much, it might not have been that close of a game. The turnovers killed them, and it killed momentum at times for them offensively, and they gave the Bucks extra opportunities to score. And obviously, a team that's coming off a championship, they'll make you pay eventually. They just can't make them pay enough. Um, I thought also outside of that, the third quarter is where the thing where the Wizards really just put a stranglehold on the game. They held the Bucks to 0% shooting from deep, like 0%. They went 0 for 8 and held them to 33% shooting from the field total in that quarter. Um, I mean, that's just outstanding defense, man. You know what I mean? It's nothing else you can say. That quarter right there gave them the cushion they needed to sustain and win this game. And that's what, if it's a quarter where so far this season, West Sunset can go back and point to and be like, that's what I want each and every quarter, each and every game, every second we're playing, that's the quarter he'll point to. Because that's not easy to do with the caliber of players that they have on their team. I also thought that we talked about it last year in the playoffs. That switching with the Bucks. They switched a lot, man, and it still picked them apart. Either he was scoring or finding other players. That's why he had 30 plus and 8 assists. You can't do that with this team this year. Not with the Wizards team that they have. They're too versatile. So it's always going to be a mismatch. And the Wizards were patient. What they had 24 assists. They were patient. They moved the ball. They found a mismatch, and they made the Bucks pay. I just felt like they waited too long to when Bill was already, you could tell he was already locked in. So Drew Holiday on to make him work and throw more shots at him early. They waited to pretty much midway in the fourth quarter to do that. By then, it's too late. Everybody had a rhythm. I thought Kuzma stepped up, had a great shooting game. Rebounding, did well, keeping Giannis off the boards. Yes, I know people gonna see this and be like, man, he had 18 boards or whatever, but look, Giannis a monster, man. Look, you're not stopping that dude. And the crazy thing is, just watching him in action tonight, he to me, he was off. He was a step slow. He was out of rhythm. And the man still down there had 30 and 20 and 5. He's just another animal, you know what I mean? So, and Trez. But the thing, and I'm going to put up a picture later on to really illustrate what I'm talking about later on. Their team defense was just outstanding, man. Like when Giannis had the ball, fundamental defense, they had two guys on help side, foot in the paint, ready. They had a guy digging down. Giannis, they had a guy digging down in case Giannis did make a move. The trap was there. And when they trapped with purpose. They came with purpose. They didn't come soft where he could just muscle through, dunk on them, get a hand one. They came with purpose where if you come through this, it's gonna be a foul on you, so you have to pass it out. And that's all. That's what he did. And guys can make enough shots. And when they did, they rebounded the ball well. The Bucks all rebound, I know 49 to 42, but that's just that's the Giannis factor. But overall, they rebounded well, where they kind of battled them to standstill on the boards. All that contributed to this win, man. So out of all the wins they have this year, this is by far the most impressive. I know Brick Lopez didn't play. I know Chris Middleton didn't play, but the Wizards have guys, our key guys out as well. So you pose a whole serve at home, and that's what they did. This was the type of game I call this the Brad Bill game because you notice throughout the season with different games, he'd kind of let other guys do their thing, and then he'd get going on the fourth and bring it home. He was more aggressive from the opening tip throughout the game and sustained it. And that's what superstars have to do when you're playing against the better teams in the league, especially at home. You got to send a message that I'm here, and not just send a message to this team, but send a message to the league that we're serious, we're for real. So you can't come in here and think we're the Wizards of old. We're a totally different team. You got to respect us. And these are the type of wins where nationally people look up and just be like, we got to respect the Washington Wizards now because they're hooping. So kudos to them. This is a great win, and back to the drawing board and see if they can sustain it.
All right, Ray, your thoughts on this one?
Man, the defensive effort, Cardell touched on it, and with them having the turnover issues, again, if you're giving them extra possessions, but when you're defending like that, it kind of it mitigates the damage. Of course, you don't want to turn the ball over like that, but I mean, once you do it, there's nothing you can do about it except get back and try to make up for it on the other end. And they did that for the most part. Early on, they kept Milwaukee in the game. The Wizards started off with a 12-0 run. Then things got a little disjointed and sloppy, and Milwaukee came back with a 12-0 run of their own, and they were pretty much just trading blows for the first half. But in the third quarter, they really locked in and put the clamps on them. And that's kind of where they took control of the game. They outscored them 33-19 in that quarter. And again, man, just the way they defended Giannis, especially Denny, in the times when he was on them in those one-on-one situations, he held his ground and made it tough. And that's really all you can ask against a player of Giannis's caliber. And I think he did a great job, man. And of course, if you just look at the box score, it looks like Giannis just totally dominated. I mean, he 30-18. That's crazy. But still, at the end of the day, they made it tough for him. There were very few times where it felt like he was really just dominating. So and that's what you have to do, especially when they're missing guys like Lopez and Middleton that kind of can relieve some of that pressure from him. You can't let him go off because he's capable of 45 and 20 or what have you. And if he just runs amok unopposed, then who knows what happens, because then that kind of puts pressure on the Wizards and they gotta readjust and figure things out. But for all intents and purposes, they pretty much held him in check to the point where they could stop it before it gets out of control. And they would send him to the line. He wasn't making his free throws. So that was the defense they played against him was a big reason they were able to come away with this win. On the Wizards side, guys are just continuing to step up. Kuzma's showing what his value is. Trez, he's doing what he's been doing basically his whole career. And Bradley Beal, he's being the number one guy in the superstar. Even a game where with Denver, he really wasn't out of this world offensively. He still made some key plays. He hit a big three that pretty much sealed the game. So guys they're just doing their jobs, man. That's really all you can ask, and they're buying in. If they defend this way, and they're smart on the other end, again, if they don't turn the ball over 19 times, this game probably is over way before they they put the final nails in the coffin. But again, man, it just kind of shows how much of a different space this team is in with the veterans they've added and new energy they have. because this is a game that could have slipped away. But they went in the locker room at halftime, went over some things, and they came out and and showed that the first half they kind of allowed Milwaukee to stick around. So yeah, man, it's a great win, and it's something to build on, and hopefully they can they can continue with this momentum.
All right, Cardell, we're gonna go to you for player of the game. I didn't have too much to add. I feel like you guys covered it all, so we're not gonna just regurgitate some of the same points.
No, but
Player
I
of the game,
mean,
Cardell.
Brad Bill. Simple as that. He played like what he is, a superstar, and that's what they're gonna need him to do.
Ray, if there's a change in answer here.
It's definitely not, man. He did his thing, 14, 22, 30 and 8, and what 38 assists, 5 rebounds. I mean,
Yep.
what more you want from him?
Yeah, shocker. There's 3 for 3 here. It's Brad. A crazy efficient game in a game like this. Like the things the reasons both of you guys laid out already. Not even so much as for other teams to know, to set the tone for other teams, but for his group too. Like you guys have said, there's been times this year where he's kind of picking spots. This one came out firing and kept the pressure on Milwaukee the entire game. And, there's not too much to add. You guys watch the game. You guys know why we're all saying this. Ray, we'll start with you with your X factor in this one.
This one was kind of tough, man. I was going back and forth between Gafford, Kuz, and Denny. I'm gonna give it to Denny, man, because he had to bear the brunt of Giannis for a large portion of the night, and he held his own in there. It was a lot of plays where he stood there and he took the punishment and walled Giannis up a couple of times. So yeah, man, it looked like the defense he was playing, and really the team as a whole, kind of frustrated and slowed him down a little bit. So I give Denny some love on this one.
All right, Cardell.
Yeah, I'm a roll with Kuzma. 15 and 10, 5. Great all around offensive game, and he drew the assignment of Giannis as well. He was also great on switches. When if Giannis had him in the paint, he was great at running out contested 3-pointers. Also getting back to his man, rebounding, tipping it out when he couldn't get the rebound, so somebody else can get it. He without him, they don't win this game. It's not close. He's been struggling shooting the ball. If he's starting to get going, but this game was good. 6 of 11 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3. He had some big key 3-pointers late. To kind of help them maintain the lead when the Bucks was making their push. So, for me, it's just it's him. If he, like I said, 15, 10, and 5, he can maintain that type of all-around impact and play the defense he did tonight. It makes him a totally different team.
Yeah, I kind of cheated. I was non-committal. I could not make a choice. Went with Kuz and Gaff. Just for, again, we know with them not having all the size that they have available to them in a game like this against a big front court. I know you guys already mentioned who Milwaukee was missing, but dealing with Giannis is like an 8-man job as is. Both of those two. What you got 19 boards out the two of them. Just helping because obviously, Trez is down there too. Trez is usually a double-double guy for the most part. It's all hands on deck in something like this. You needed them both. Cardell, like you mentioned, Kuz saw him struggling a little bit shooting the rock as of late, but to have if we think back a year, this team would have loved to have a front court member consistently alongside, one of the guys they're missing right now, Rui, averaging 15 and close to 10. Just that consistent production he's been able to bring is huge. And while Rui's still out, it's yet another example of the depth they have up front. That's another versatile piece. In games like this, you can't get through these games without that. Like, it seems in the league that would love to have some of the depth Washington has in terms of the guys in that size with 6'9", 6'10", that could do a little bit. That can do so many different things on the floor. But both of them really contributed a lot tonight in this one. I think we had one. We'll get to the comments that we have tonight already, but we had one that was already from, I think, earlier this week. This is from This gentleman wrote that hopefully Rui joins the team soon. Very curious to see how it will play out once Bryant returns in January. Let you guys get it. Whoever wants to speak up first, take a crack at this.
Uh, Ivan Medina, we all kind of wondering the same thing. Like I said, no one knows. They're keeping it seriously in house, so don't believe the reports. Like they not talking about it at all. Even in post game, shoot around, pre game is just something they keep in their house, and I respect it. So it gotta be something, personal. You know what I mean? And everybody should just respect that. When it's time, when he's ready to return, he'll return. Like I said, y'all gotta understand. Since this man has been drafted, he's pretty much been playing basketball year round. You know what I mean? And he ain't had a break. And and then on top of that, he was the dang flag bearer basketball was in the Olympics this year for his home country. You know what I'm saying? It's just a constant grind, man. The bubble. You heard veteran players talk about how tough that is. So imagine that for a young player. Then when you get out there, you still getting tested and twice a day. Y'all remember? You remember last year? Scott Brooks and all them was talking about it, talking about how they had to get tests early in the morning, 8 a.m., then 10 p.m. again late at night. It was a hassle. So who knows what mentally is done to him. So my approach is, look, they got enough to hold the fort down. When he's ready to return, he'll return.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on the same train. He's not here at the moment, so when he gets here, we'll talk about him. But I'll let them deal with that. And I'll just sit here and wait. It's pretty much nothing else you can do. And I'm sure the guys are supporting him, and he has a supporter of franchise. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna speculate into that with with no information.
Yeah, I'm with you both. I think it's just really simple. Is he'll be back when he's ready, and they'll be ready to let him rejoin the group, and whatever that time may be, that's their timeline. The good thing, they're deep enough to withstand it. So it's to me, it's twofold, and it's that simple. Young man will be back when he's ready. The good part, they're 7-3 right now. The luxury is it's not damaging the team or holding them back in some large regard. They're not 3-7 or it's not. They're not looking up the standings this early at everybody else right now. So also that's second to his well-being as a whole. But some of the comments that are coming in live, thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. From Omar Azulay. How can they get Denny's offense going, though? There is some potential there.
He got to start pressing. We spoke on this kind of, a few shows ago. I mean, he wants to do so well that he's pressing and forcing himself to play bad. We're not just play bad, but like shoot bad. I don't say he's played bad. You know what I'm saying? He's been playing solid defense at times and rebounding the ball, but just let the game come to him, and that's just something that he has to learn. The second year, you also with him, you can't forget. Yeah, this rookie year cut short, had an injury. He was out, didn't get to play, second half. You know what I mean? So, in a sense, he still got a lot to learn. You know what I mean? And it's different stakes. Where last year he could play through a lot of mistakes and stuff like that. This team right here is obviously a playoff team, a team that can make a run in the playoffs. So it's different. You don't have the same type of, room for error, so to speak. So and he knows that. You know what I mean? And that's why he's pressing. But at the end of the day, you gotta let the game come to you. And I think the last game is where he kind of had like 9 points. He was hitting some shots. You let the game come to him. You let the game come to you, it'll be fine. Remember, Kuzma, first couple games was the same way. He was pressing. Then he settled down. Obviously, he's older. He settled down. He let the game come to him. Now it's like clockwork. All he got to do is get his free throws right. And he ain't the only one. It's the team. You know what I'm saying? They ain't shot free throws well all year. So that's just a thing for him, man. Just relax. Let the game come to him.
Ray, anything you want to add on this one?
Yeah, just sometimes it looks like he's thinking too much. And that's disastrous for a basketball player. You know, you got to be a little more fluid, a little more reactionary, and just let it come naturally. Yeah. So, and once that happens, we'll start to see improvement. But again, it's an entirely different group that he has to get used to. And then even with his professional experience prior to the NBA, he's kind of used to having the ball in his hands a lot. So that's another adjustment. So yeah, man, he'll be fine. He just got to work out the kinks.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Check back with us in 10, 12 games. Like just let him get settled in to the season, the role on his team. He's super young, and there's still positive to take from his playing. Like I'm not worried about his offense right now at all. To me, the way he's going to continue to get minutes, just keep moving your feet on the defensive end, hitting the glass as you need. What I did like about the offense today, was that sequence near the end of the game where Dinwiddie hit the dagger. Beal, they kind of got trapped. He popped free to give Beal an outlet, and immediately got the ball to Spence. Spence knocked down a three. Didn't waste any time, and that was a perfect example of what these two mentioned him, just one, letting the game come to you, and then two, just not thinking. He was just playing basketball. And, that'll happen, as time. Like, they're still crazy young. It's about like him and Rui and things like that. Great win, ball goes inside, we win. Just jacking up from the outside. Without ball movement, we lose.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with about half of that. Throwing the ball inside consistently, and I don't know if that's the recipe for success. They don't really have a big, you could just throw it in and they can go get a bucket, and they ain't like that. But the balanced attack, moving without the ball, Bill coming off those, curls, mid range, and drawing the defense, and he's either knocking down the shot or finding open shooters. With Montrez and Gafford rolling to the basket for lob plays, there's so many ways. That's what I mean. That's the strength of this team. Versatility. They can kill you in so many ways, man. They really stress defenses, man. You like if you're not on point defensively, the Wizards gonna mess you up. They're gonna mess you up bad. So but I agree with the other half, man. Yeah, just jacking up from outside. That's there's too many teams shooting themselves the L's just by jacking up threes, following an analytic path. It makes no sense to me. When you off. Every player knows when they off, and you got to be able to switch to southpaw sometimes, man. You know what? No threes for a little bit. Let me get in the mid range. Let me get to the paint so I can get to the free throw line and get my rhythm. Free throw line is a great way to get in rhythm to shoot and make the outside shot. So yeah, the offense will take care of itself, man. I'm definitely not worried. When they made the trade, I like, I'm cool. Bill got help, but defensively, that's where they got to stay on point. And you see, when they've been on point, they won. Speaks for itself.
My bad. He was going to clarify when the ball goes inside, he meant just when the ball goes in for it to get collapsed. Not saying that they got somebody to dump the ball to.
But it don't. But still, it don't collapse because it's not it's not like an AD down there, somebody that's proven that can get you 20 to 30 points. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not collapsing, but you throw down in there to let them know that it's a threat. It's just, you just moving the ball. You just, like I said, you stretching the defense. And Montrez and then will hit an occasional jumper. So with Gaff, you know what I mean? Then we all know Montrez a beast in the paint. He'll dunk on the whole team. So, but it's not teams know that's not where they want to go consistently. We all know where they want to go.
Sure. All right. I got one for you, Ray. Not this one. This is just a statement. This one has your name on it, Ray. Any second team or defense NBA bucket.
Yeah, slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Follow that up with that.
You choose Danny's defense over his offense 2 out of 3 times. You ain't got no choice. If you want to play, you better play. You better step. He'll be watching the game like us. Like,
it's a prerequisite this year. When your feet, you're in trouble. This gentleman saying Danny's taking layups. He needs to dunk the ball.
You know who was down there tonight? And it's not like he's a high flyer to begin with, man. You like, do you understand who's down there? All right, so y'all gotta
Gold
understand
defensive
what
player of the year.
you gotta understand who's on the other side too, man. It ain't that. It's not that simple.
Oh, we have any more comments? Want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all for your comments. We do appreciate it. Both those of you that commented when we're live like this, or a little bit afterwards. We'll still see your comments and get to some of them as we can. Don't forget to get over to the FocusTV.com. I think the Wizards have a couple of away games this week, so we'll see you guys for those. Won't be there, but they got a couple of away games. Yeah, it's time for me to go. So for Cardell, Raymond, and myself, y'all have a good night. Enjoy the Wizards win. I think we'll see you guys again on Wednesday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.